Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the OK Run Show, week number whatever. It's regional recaps and state meet previews with Shawn and I. And Shawn's going to pull up regionals. I believe we're going to start probably at the bottom. If you go to OHS, I believe it
Yeah, I'm
runs them in
getting this
order.
thing pulled up.
Start at the bottom. We'll go to A and
Can
Henrietta.
you see this, Colin?
Yes, I can.
Cool.
We're gonna I'm we're gonna walk through them, kind of give our thoughts. Some of these might be quick because they may not have a lot to talk about. This one is going to be quick. It's not a lot to
Yep.
talk about. I think Summit Christian Academy, I think their ceiling is 5, and they won. So let's scroll down just a little bit. Go to the individuals. Let me see if this Dylan McDevitt, I think I have him picked 5th. I think he's good enough to be 5th. His time here wasn't crazy good, but I imagine it was more of a I'm going to do enough to win situation.
Yeah.
Let's move on down to the girls.
That's a
Again,
long
it's
name. Thomas
Thomas
Fay.
Fay Custer. It's
I
3
did.
towns in western Oklahoma. If you go down I-40, they're just to the north
Okay.
of Thomas Fay and Custer, the 3 little towns. They're
Let's
very
go.
good at track. They have a history of being super, super good at track, especially on the men's side. Even their women were pretty good for a few years. Their women, again, another just will scrape top 5, but Abby Gord could be your champion.
Dominated.
She did dominate. I think she's in a top 3 that any of the 3 could possibly win. There's definitely a case for her to win it. I might even slightly lean her way. But let's just back out of here because that's it. That's it out of that one. Not much craziness out of the Henrietta A region. A and Waurika. Southwest Covenant. Let's start here with the girls. Southwest Covenant, they're going to win.
Good
14
God.
points. 14 points.
Oh, yeah.
They're
And it's because they're going to score 4 this year, right? For
correct.
A.
They only
Okay.
score 4 in A, which we're going to be doing a fantasy draft and we're adding up school points. So maybe you want to pick an A school just because they have the ability to score less, which
Oh.
they have that's a wrinkle that
We'll talk about that after the podcast.
if you don't think about it, that's a wrinkle. Allie Shepard is another girl who has the ability to win it. Kennedy Robertson could probably be 4th or 5th in the individual race as well. I think
Mhm.
Southwest Covenant is the team to beat. They're on a different level than everybody else. They'd have to really blow up to lose. Now the men's
Sweetwater.
side. Now the men's side. This was actually more interesting in my opinion. Southwest Covenant looked unbeatable. They had way faster averages all season long than all the other A schools. But this is their first time really racing another A competitor in Sweetwater, and Sweetwater beat them, which I think is kind of incredible. I think Sweetwater, now you can make an argument that they are number 1. I think coming in, I argued Southwest Covenant all season is probably your number 1. Sweetwater, Moreland, Laverne were kind of tier 2, could probably make up your 2, 3, 4. But now Sweetwater beats Southwest Covenant, and I think it's about a 4-team race. Makes it interesting. Who knows what they're going to score. Individually, Kanan Motley's my pick to be 2nd. He's my pick to be 2nd. I think he's about the most consistent, but I don't think he's necessarily the best. He is fairly consistent at getting under 17. Not a lot of guys in this division are that way. Let's move to the next region. Go to OBA out
Bible.
in Enid. Laverne got it
Laverne.
done, beat Moreland, beat Oklahoma Bible. Those are 3 teams that'll all be in the top 7. Go down to individuals.
Why? Freya.
Bly got it done. Bly's always getting it done. He's kind of the Mez Barth of this division, even though he's a 10th
Mhm.
grader. Reese Hensley had a big race in 2nd, but going to the girls, Texoma girls,
Barely won.
argument that that's your 2-3 at state behind Southwest
Mhm.
Covenant. They're kind of the second best teams. Mia Hegwood is another girl with Allie
Yeah.
Shepard and Abby Gord. Those are your top 3. Any one of those 3 could win, but those are your 3. Going to 2A at North Rock
Yeah.
Creek. I believe this was the Regent
Regent.
Prep. Yep, Regent Prep. Their boys dominated, scored 22 points, almost as low as you could possibly score. Clay McKinney did enough to win.
1702. Yeah.
Again, he's a 1530 guy. He did enough to win. He's not broken and running 1702. He's running 1702 because he probably ran with Thomas O'Dea the whole time until the end. Probably because they
Mhm.
didn't have much competition. they're a strong pick to win. Girls are
Regents.
the same way. Girls have a very strong argument to be the number one team, even less points, 17 points, led by Lucy O'Dea, Taylor
Do they
Fowler,
score
not far
5?
behind. They score
I think
5.
so, yeah.
Yep, they score 5. So
1,
Lucy
2,
O'Dea,
5.
Taylor
Yeah.
Fowler, those are your top 2. I actually picked Miley Holt to win this. Sorry to the Regent Prep girls. I wanted to throw one out there,
Yeah.
but they proved me wrong. Good for them. Moving on. Let's go to the next region. 2A Warika. 2A Warika, not super exciting. Watonga is probably your third or fourth best team. Briley Combs out of Comanche, kind of out of nowhere a little bit. I had Reese Coleman winning this. Didn't really think much of Briley Combs, but she won, so proved me wrong. So good for her. Let's move on to the boys. Braden Cohen. Braden Cohen is your second best man in this division. It's not really close. Individually or team wise, Riverside got it done. They're probably your third or fourth best team again. Braden Cohen's probably your second. Actually, he is guaranteed. I think he's your second best guy in the division. No matter what time say, he's your second best guy in the division. If Clay McKinney does have a bad day, Braden Cohen could win it. I don't think anybody else can say that. 5.
Hooker got it done.
Hooker always gets it done. Hooker is Regent Prep's strongest adversary. They went 1-2 here, but they don't necessarily have the front end that Regent does. Like, I don't see either of their top 2 running much quicker than 16:30 at best, if it's a fast day. And, but their back end's good and they always get it done. They always get it done. Hooker girls, though, are my favorites. They're going to win. I'm just going to call it now. They're going to win. Callie Walker, 12:08. Very, very quick. Beating Isabella Neville, who I, like a week earlier, argued was your number 1 girl in the division. So, heck of a win. Statement win going into state. That's a lot of momentum. 10th grader, kind of breakout star of this division. I think she's your favorite right now. She's your front runner right now.
Moving on to 3A.
3A, let's go to North Rock Creek. Blazing through these. Cassidy boys are the number 1 team in 3A. Simple as that. But more interestingly, if we scroll down to the individuals, was this race. Landon Eubank beat Levi Haynes. Levi Haynes has had the fastest time all year, hadn't lost to a single 3A guy. I believe he was like the 4th or 5th Oklahoman at Jamboree, beating a lot of those Cassidy guys on the day. Landon Eubanks, the sophomore, beat him. Now, was this a Levi Haynes was like, I don't need to win this? Or is Landon Eubank that good? I don't know. Landon Eubank is that good. Don't get me wrong. He's that good. It's just this is his breakout race here, and he's timing it perfectly. Maybe you like his momentum, or you like the fact that Levi Haynes is always there. He's actually the defending state champion in this division. Like, I don't know. You can take your pick there on who you like better. Let's scroll down to the girls. The Prague girls beat Bethel. I thought Bethel was maybe the best team. There's a lot of teams that can make an argument. Haley Johnson, not a girl I really even have talked about all year. This division has just confused me because people are up, people are down, teams are up, teams are down. It's confused me all year. There's any number of girls that can win it. Kylie Nunley is who I picked to win this, and she got 5th. That's how little I feel like I'm that unsure about this division. Haley Johnson could very easily win it next week, or she could also very easily be 5th. It's that crazy of a division. I think it's the craziest division. It's the most hectic. It's the least like reliable who's going to win. Moving on. Let's go to Henrietta.
Yeah.
Henrietta, we're starting with the boys. Sequoia out of Tahlequah. They're probably the number 3 team in this division, maybe even number 2. Rylan Nofire, he's the 800-meter champion in 3A. Fun fact. I don't necessarily see him winning the whole thing. I think his ceiling is probably like 3rd or 4th. But if it were to be a slow day,
he has the speed.
It's gonna rain. Maybe it's a slow day and he can just pull it out at the end. Maybe he's got enough power through the mud over the last stretch. I don't know. Casca Hall again is another team that you could argue is the number 1 team in this division. But so is Heritage Hall that was 2 points behind them.
2 freshmen.
McGee, who I actually picked to win it. I picked JC McGee to win it, I believe.
A third
12:30,
freshman, third too.
3 freshmen. Again, this division is all over the place. Freshmen are volatile, but freshmen also can go into the meet with a naivete that they're just going to
Mhm.
smoke everybody.
Yes.
So there's two different kinds of freshmen. There's freshmen that go in thinking they're going to absolutely crush the world, break a world record. And there's freshmen who are going to go into the state meet and are going to be like, oh my God, this is state. This is the biggest thing I've ever raced. And then they're just going to crumble.
Mm-hmm.
Which one these girls are, I don't know. To be determined
Yeah.
on the day. 3-8 OBU, Oklahoma Christian boys. They won. Another team you can, even on the boys' side.
Not by much though.
Yeah. Them and Chisholm are probably 2-3 in my book behind Cassidy. Logan Austin won it. These guys, the top 4-ish there, any of those 4 guys are all going to be top 10 guys on the day.
Yeah.
I had the guy who's 4th winning it because I wanted to throw like a curveball for everybody, and everybody kind of hated on me. Mostly people who believed his teammate, who hadn't been healthy for a few weeks, was going to beat him, and he actually did by a second. But hey, cool, whatever. We're moving on. Chisholm girls, they won again, not by much over Alva. Rylan Sheffy out of Washington. That's the quickest time. She's a senior. There's a lot of freshmen that are really good in this division. That means there's a lot of volatility at the top end of this division. She beat Kinley Taylor and Addison Petra, who are 2 very good athletes in this division. Obviously, Kinley Taylor running 12:09. Rylan Sheffy ran sub 12.
Yeah.
Is she the favorite? I don't know. Because again, I don't know. This division, every time I think I have it sorted, I don't have it sorted. 4A North Rock Creek, not surprising, Bing won. I had Bing scoring very low here. Dathan Custer
got her
winning.
done.
Again, not something I'm shocked by. He's very good in this division. Obviously, he's got Ty Brooks. He's got Ethan Jones. He's got Zachary Williams. There's so many good guys in this division.
Yeah.
It's maybe the strongest 4A and below division for sure. But yeah, I mean, not too shocked by this result. I thought Bing would run away
Aiden
with it.
Evans
They did.
too. 1605.
Yeah, Aiden Evans is quite good. Bing, I think they're probably second. I think they're second in this division. Scrolling down to the girls before we get out of there.
Bing.
Again, Bing, same story. I thought both teams were going to score under 30 points. They did. Ava Thompson, she's very good. She's super, super good. Again, same problem as Dathan Custer. There's a lot of good individual girls in this division. And Bing girls, I think, could be second as well. So they're kind of not a bad pick if you want to pick a school to do well. Bing's going to probably do all right. Ava Thompson, she could be 3rd. She could be 7th. She could maybe also win. Yeah. I don't know. Let's move on to the next regional here in 4A is Henrietta. Lincoln Christian. Points. Not shocked by this. I think they're the number 1 boys team. Ty Brooks.
That was close though.
Ty Brooks. I had Jaden Polk winning it. The fact that Ty Brooks only got him by a hair. I don't know if this was a tactical, we're going to run slow. Lincoln wants to pack up. Jaden Polk goes, all right, that's cool. I'm going to just tag along with you guys. I believe in my kick. And he believed in his kick until Ty Brooks barely edged him out. I don't know. Like, Jaden Polk's good. But again, there's a lot of really good guys in this division. I just don't think this was a quick day. I think they maybe all kind of tactically played that because we know all those boys are 16 flat guys. Lincoln Christian, their girls are super good. Potentially your number 1 team. Well, 2 girls under 12 minutes. Good to see Tennyson kind of moving back up near Bailey. Tennyson is your 5A defending state champion over Bailey Woodridge. Bailey Woodridge now has a lot of their school records. He's had a phenomenal season. I think there's a strong argument to be made that Bailey Woodridge is your number 1 girl in this division. Metro Christian Academy, I think they're probably like a 2nd or 3rd place team. Maybe not with Bing, but like they're also quite a good team. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem in this division. There's so many good individuals. There's also a couple pretty solid teams. Now here we go.
Valley too,
Pauls Valley dominated. Kenzie Riedenauer dominated. Well, not dominated. She only won by 2 seconds, but Cash is number one, which I mean they only have like
And
two or
their
three to
two is
race.
good too.
They're both good. Amadat is she's in that pack with Bailey Woodrich. She's in that pack with Kenzie. She's in that
Hmm.
pack with Tennyson. There's gonna be a pack, which is crazy because the first regional we looked at, we're like, man, that girl's pretty good that won it. And look at how many other girls we've went. Man, they're pretty good. Paul's Valley. They're 2 and 3.
Yep.
And then they're 4, 1242. That's still
Hmm.
pretty good. Their
And
five
then
is
their
what's
5 is
their
1249.
5 has been what scared me all year. Well, now they have a new 5 all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And they're great. So like my whole year, I've been like Lincoln Christian's gonna win. There's a way that Paul's Valley wins, and that's by they just have to score with their top 3 to 4. They've got to really beat Lincoln Christian and hope their 5 doesn't crumble too hard. Now their number 5 is as strong, if not stronger, than Lincoln's number 1.
Yeah.
Boys, Cash is probably the third or fourth best team in this
Zachary
division.
Williams,
Zachary
1539.
Williams kind of just
Ethan
got the job
Jones,
done.
1628. It's not a great, I mean, for him,
No, it's not great. I
not a
mean, he's a
great day, but
1537 guy or something like that.
it's also hard to tell if he was trying or not,
It is. And
you
so I
know.
think that's what makes it fun because you see the race on paper, but if you weren't there to see it in person, you have no idea what the guys actually look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too shocked by any of this. Let's move on. Now we're getting into
5A.
your area.
And yours
Talk
too.
of,
You can keep
yeah,
talking
I mean, I
too.
keep tabs with it as well. I keep tabs on the whole state. Talk to us, Shawn.
Carl Albert got it done, but not by much. There's been a lot of people. I posted on Instagram today, like a whole thing for state with when people can ask questions and respond. Getting a lot about Carl Albert and this right here. So let's see who got it done. Abby Lee. I don't believe I picked her to win. I think I picked Avery out of
Mm-hmm.
Durant. So 1948 is pretty solid.
Abby
With
Lee was
5A
like
though, it's just tough.
Abby
I feel
Lee
like
was
5A.
fifth at Cowboy Jamboree,
Mhm.
the fifth best Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's tough in 5A because I feel
Mm.
like 5A girls, it's a race for like second.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody, I mean, it's from second to like 10 is up for grabs. I think the champions already decided pretty much. Not to say that it's impossible, but there's an athlete that kind of is ahead of the rest in 5A by a good margin. But yeah, 1948's not bad, not too much to talk about there. All right, for the guys who got it done, Klassen, they're a very good team this year. They won by about 40 points, so that puts them, I think I predicted them to be second at well, not this region, but I think they're pretty solid number 2 to 3 for 5A. Ethan Brooks is a freshman, 1554. That's pretty crazy. Um, what do you think about that, Colin?
Ethan Brooks is the like eighth grade mile
Yeah,
record
that
holder.
was that kid that was
Yeah,
like running
yeah,
real fast.
tall, has like long curlyish hair. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's very good. I mean, he's at El Reno, which
Yeah.
is not a program that we know is good, but I know he works with the Beat Bold people, which obviously has had a lot of success with numerous athletes around the state. So he is in good hands, although necessarily El Reno isn't. I mean, there's certainly no Deer Creek, they're not even a Guyman.
Mm-hmm.
Guyman's got a great program. I think Ethan Brooks threw his name in the hat to win it. I mean,
Yeah.
Eli looked
I
really
think
good though.
what's
The other region looked
pretty
very
telling about
strong.
this too, though, is that he's a freshman, and this is probably his whole season's been good, but this has been his best race by a large margin.
For sure. I mean, he hasn't
And
looked
to
this good
have
all
your
year.
best race be at regionals maybe makes him seem like, well, is he gonna crumble at state? Probably not.
No, I mean
Step up
he's
everything.
catching the momentum at the right time. Where there's been other people across the state
Mm-hmm.
in all divisions, honestly, that looked really, really good early.
Mm-hmm.
Through those first couple races, you're like, they're gonna win
100%.
their division. And then as we're getting late, they're kind of petering off, or
Yeah,
maybe they've just kind of flatlined where every other team has went up and has gotten better. They've just kind of stayed the same,
exactly.
So I think that's very good. Tesfaye and Adam are both very good athletes. I think
Mm-hmm.
all three of those guys could be top 5 guys on the day. I don't
I think so
see
too.
I think those three plus Bishop Kelly's one,
And they're
Guthrie's
two,
one,
potentially.
and Bishop Kelly's two. All those that's
Or
six
they're
guys.
three,
There's
even.
six guys in the three. And then Sepulveda's 6A.
Well,
Never mind.
6A now, yeah.
Um,
With the big boys.
but anyway, we'll talk more about that when we get to the other class. We won't spoil too much.
5A Owasso.
Owasso. Get to the other regional.
This is interesting to me. Not, well, this is obvious. Bishop
Mhm.
Kelly. I mean, we could have told you that.
Yeah.
This is why I said I think it's more of a race for second.
Nah, and I
I,
think the race for second and third are wrapped up. I I
yeah,
I think this was your individual race for state. I
I think
don't
I'd have to
see
agree.
I don't see
Outside of
Abby
these
Lee.
top three, I just don't see anybody else.
I don't see Abby Lee or Avery Sager breaking into the top three. Maybe that's
Who
a hot
knows?
take. Maybe they're
But
gonna watch this and be like, I hate that Collen guy, and fair enough, I hate me too. But like Adela Carter was in this race for a lot of it, and then you see how much they separated from her. I think there's gonna be a strong race for like 4 through 7,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
more than there's gonna be anybody else cracking this top three. And look at that top three. I mean, they're all 10 seconds plus apart, 10 to 15 seconds apart.
Hmm.
Like, I think it's pretty well settled, unless, and this is the overarching theme that could happen in all classes at state, rain. There's
Rain,
rain
mud,
forecasted, I believe,
cold.
tomorrow,
Yep.
Saturday again, Friday night. Like, there's chance of rain all weekend. Maybe none of it will hit, which means Oklahoma.
Hmm.
You never know. But maybe that throws a wrench and one of those girls isn't good in the rain and someone else sneaks up there. But if it's a dry, fast course
Yeah.
like state is, I think that's how it's going to finish.
Hmm. Move on to the boys. Once again, they got it done by a large margin. What I think is interesting though is that Eli Horlid dominated from the gun.
Fair.
We were there, so we know we actually got to see this.
Also, I want to
But
say before we go too far, Aiden Ringwald out of Shawnee, what a dog. What a dog. Let it for the first K. He
oh,
was the
that guy.
Shawnee guy, let it for
Yeah,
K.
yeah.
I appreciate that effort. Maybe that was the only way he foresaw himself making state, is
And
that
he
he just
did.
had to go out there and do it.
Yeah.
Well, he did. But anyway, go on, keep going.
Eli Horlid. This kind of surprised me just because he took it out from the gun and there was nobody that even touched him really. I mean, we were
Mhm.
like a mile and a half in, and he was by himself.
Yeah, by the mile he separated. Like
So,
again, K he didn't have the lead. By the mile, he had the lead.
and I mean, this is in 5A, so it's not like this time right here. I think it's his best time of the year. He's might have run
He
15:58.
ran quick. He ran quicker at RSU. Or no, they didn't go to RSU.
Oh,
He
they no,
they
they went to RSU, but I checked that today. I don't think that he did.
um he did run quicker though. He has broken 16.
Okay. Either way, his PR is not towards the top, but this is a
I think,
massive race from him.
I
So,
think, and Isaiah Blevins, who pays attention to what we say, is gonna hate me
yeah.
for this. I think your top four in some order is Eli, it's Ethan Brooks, it's the two guys from Guyman. I think
I'm
Isaiah
actually
Blevins,
pretty positive, Colin, that when we get to my predictions after this, that was my exact top four too.
that's your exact top four. And I think
Yeah.
Blevins is 5.
I think I
Riley
had
Ritchie
something
is
similar.
6.
Yeah.
Jacob Tiger probably is 7th. Like it's
I think
that
this
like
was my exact top four.
then
Yeah.
the rest of your like top 10 is like just basically go down this list.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is crazy.
That's
And then maybe one
hilarious.
other from the other region. But that's like Blevins is gonna hate me, and I hope he gets like third, and then he comes up to us shouting again. You don't
Yeah.
believe that I'm in the top 3. It's like I'm glad you took that with a grain of
Yeah.
salt and you run good off spite. Keep running good off spite.
Real.
You know what, Blevins? You're not even gonna make the top 5. You're gonna be 6th.
Oh
You're not
boy. All
even gonna
right,
make
move
the
on to
top 5.
6A
Go ahead,
at
6A
Westmore.
Westmore
Piedmont got it done. They're still the favorites for the
for the
girls.
girls.
There was a couple other schools that looked good. Well, mainly like one other, but Edmond North was second, Moore was third. That's about what we predicted.
Mm-hmm.
going into this race. 1757, that's nothing
Not
shocking.
shocking.
She did win by a large margin though.
She likes to run the front. She likes to run the
Mhm.
front. She likes to go out hard. She likes to hold it. She knows she's not going to win a kick. She
Mhm.
knows she's got to go out and break people, and she's going to do that time and time again. That's why I think the 6A girls are almost guaranteed to be your winning times got to be 17:30
Yeah,
or quicker. If
at
not,
least.
maybe quicker. I don't know.
I
But
think it's
it's going
hilarious.
to be
It needs to
fast.
be put to attention how these two athletes, Brooke Collins and Claire Collins, run the same dang time every single race. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
1845, 1845. So that's Piedmont's solid 1-2.
They always are.
Their freshman is their three right here, all in the top five.
Mm-hmm.
And then Piedmont's 4 and 5.
Piedmont's your
There's
favorite.
there's their four,
Mm-hmm.
Anna Caldwell, and then their fifth, Lily Sheck.
Emily,
So,
nope, Emily Caldwell. You forgot the
oh,
Caldwell
did I miss
sister.
that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, sure enough. Well, Emily Caldwell, 19.
Even higher up. They got
Yeah, so
five in
even
front of
better,
North. They got five in front of Edmond North number two, and
which
Edmond
is
North
crazy.
could be like third, fourth. They're probably three to
Mhm.
five, somewhere in there. I don't know what Shawn has picked.
We'll get to that, I think.
I know.
Piedmont
Foreshadowing.
won, but listen here. I don't remember. It was at a big race. I think it might have been Chili Pepper. So like, who really cares like about the scoring? But I think, or maybe it wasn't. It was Kodak. Piedmont is not doing as good as they were in the first half of the season. Doesn't mean that it's over for them. They're still like one of the favorites to win the title and very well could win the title. But this is definitely closing the gap. And
Mustangs closing the gap, and there's a lot of really good teams out of the other region.
and even these two, you got Edmond North and you got Edmond Santa Fe. They're right
Mm-hmm.
there. Looking at the individual, no one's surprised. Mez Barth, 1527, dominated once again by 20 seconds plus. Dominic Matthias, heck of a run though. Again, I mean, to get second. But what's also interesting is that this is closing. This gap right here is closing. These guys basically ran the exact same time, just got outleaned. So Noah Thayer's back. He's raced a few times this season. Outside of Deer Creek, he's been good. And that was the first race of the year in August, so who cares? Um, what else you're calling? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean Thayer's getting better. He's getting back up there. I think people forget that he was second last year.
Maxton too has been crushing it.
Maxton's crushing it.
He's
He's a
just kind
guy
of
that
been like
always flies under the radar.
trending upward pretty much this
Yeah.
entire season to now where
Yep.
he's right there.
I think, Thayer was second last year. Don't forget that.
Hmm.
Cam Langdon was your second fastest 3,200-meter guy, returning only behind Mez Barth. They finished pretty
Yeah.
close to track state.
Yep.
I mean, Matthias, again, is your freak talent. He's going to be great for a lot of years, but he is a freshman.
Yep.
You must
And if
remember that.
it's
And that
crappy
take it,
conditions,
who knows?
who knows?
We'll see. Mez, I think, I mean, I don't, no matter how the cookie crumbles, he's going to win. Like, I
That's how I am
hate
too.
to say it. I don't hate to say it. I love to say it. Mez is great. Mez is great. He's got the personality that he's super even keel.
He's
He
humble.
doesn't have
Yeah.
like he's not a guy that's like you describe as head cases. And I've been around a lot of really good runners. Been around a lot of way better than myself runners.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of really good runners that are mental head cases like you wouldn't believe.
Real.
They to the point that they don't even want to race. They're like
Yeah.
they're so good, they're so fit, but they struggle to go race. And then when they go race, you got a 50-50 shot of whether they're going to do good or not. Whether
Yep.
their tummy hurts on that day and they're just like, I'm going to stop midway through the race. I've had
Yep.
teammates that were that way. I've had, people that just dropped out and were like, why'd you drop out? And then like, I didn't feel good. And you're like, what, did you hurt? And they're like, no. And you're like, what? So like,
Yeah.
he's not that way. He's very even keel. I think it could be a flood. It could be the great flood. Mez Barth is going to build an arc if there's a flood. He's going to find a way. If it's a flood, he's going to build an ark and he's going to load up two of every animal and he's going to repopulate the world. He's going to win. I don't see anybody else beating him.
Yeah.
Moving
All
on.
right. Moving on to Owasso. Owasso girls got it done. They looked good. They're probably your number two, but the only team that could compete for first if Piedmont has a bad day.
Piedmont has a bad day again. Owasso has an older team,
Mm-hmm.
more experienced team, maybe better under pressure. I don't know. If it's bad conditions, if it's 30-mile-an-hour winds and just wet, soaked, I don't
Yeah.
know. There's
Who
there's a
knows?
world that crazy things can happen. I don't know.
Deer Creek was second. Jinx was third.
Tied one on the tiebreaker, but I mean they both go to state, so very cool,
Obviously, no surprise here,
Not
17:48,
at
but
all.
17:55 for
Heck of
second.
a run
That's
out of
her
Ava.
best time of the year. She's
At
ran
home though,
under
so
18 a few times, but this
mhm.
course is pretty fast, but it doesn't
and,
matter. I mean,
and
just
at
still
home,
run
so I imagine she's run it
17:55.
a couple times. Um, Bella, I mean Bella's your favorite. Bella's
Hmm.
gonna What Bella's gonna do is Dugan's gonna take it out. Bella's gonna stalk her. Bella's gonna run her down.
Yep.
Ava, Ava is, and she does this very well. Ava stays with the pack, and she
Hmm.
picks people off at the end.
What I will say though, I think it's gonna be interesting,
State's gonna pull
is
people out.
a lot of Ava's like best times have been when she's right by her teammate.
Mm,
But if this goes out really, really hard and they get separated, I wonder how that will affect her race. If it
potentially,
even would, if it even
yeah.
would.
I mean, I think back to RSU. Ava did pretty well there, and Ava
Yeah.
again sat in that pack. But so did Bella. Where I
Yeah.
don't know if I mean Bella might also sit in the pack,
She might just
because
take it out, you
Bella
know?
likes to do what it takes to win. She's not trying to time trial every race.
Yeah.
She likes to do what it takes to win. And if Dugan takes it out hard and people go out, I think Bella's gonna call their bluff. Bella's
Hmm.
gonna let it happen. Maybe go with it because she's fit enough, obviously, to go with it. No matter what you take it out at, you're not gonna break Bella.
Yeah.
That's the hard truth about this division. Bella's gonna just sit there, and then eventually she'll start picking people off.
Yep.
And I think she's going to win it. I mean, she can win it in many different ways. She could go out hard with Dugan and win it. She could sit back in like seventh for the first mile or two and still win it. So,
Hmm.
yeah. But again, there's a ton of girls that all have strong
Yeah.
arguments for the top
And
10.
then and third, I feel like she's gotten third so many times this
So
season.
many times you almost bet she'll get third at state. Like she'll beat
Harley
Ava, she'll
Keeley
beat
has
Emma Johnson,
been
she'll get
very
third at state.
consistent. She's run under 18:10 a few times. She always will get it done.
Yeah,
And I don't remember where I ranked her in our power rankings this week, but she's usually been on like
third.
4 to 6. It's because, yeah, third, but
Yeah.
nah, but it's because in the head to head, she gets it done.
Mm-hmm.
She has beaten so many of the athletes on that top 10 list over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sienna Collins in fourth. Heck of a run from her. Probably her best season, I think. Um, my
Close.
sister, good job. I almost said my
Terrible
sister.
job. Shawn thinks you're awful. You're only going
No,
backwards.
that's not true at all. You're the best winner. Kate Barber didn't have a great day. Um,
Yeah.
she's an interesting athlete because at track state she did very well. But well, that I don't remember how she did last year at state for
She is
cross.
certainly more of a mid-distance athlete, though. So
Mid
take that into
distance,
account. Like,
I think it largely depends on the race because when she was at Rogers, she ran 18:07, but that was Rogers, which is basically track. So with state is a fast course, but it's not as fast as Rogers. Is it going to go out that hard? Is it going to be rainy? Is it going to be muddy? Is it going to be cold? Who knows? Anything else you're calling?
nothing else out of this. Let's move on to the guys.
Deer Creek got it done. They dominated. It's not close. Um,
They're my
Pretty
favorites
crazy.
to win.
But Sapulpa second. Sapulpa is getting it done, and that's awesome to see because they were just in 5A. So whenever you see a school move from 5A to 6A and they're doing well, is always cool to see. Um, Edmond didn't have a great day. That was kind of unexpected. They're a team though where they always are in a pack. And if they are in a pack at state and they're moving up together, that's a school that could maybe even get like second if someone has a bad day. Someone scores a bad day because Evan Memorial is going to have your five guys who are going to run together. And if they get a couple guys that are low 16s, maybe even high 15s, and they get the other three, 16-10 to 16-40, especially on a day where maybe it's rough conditions. People, I think, underestimate having teammates with you in a meet, being able to run together and being able to push up together. So if it is super rainy, super muddy, and it's just nasty out there, having a group of guys that you train with every single day to move up with you helps a lot. Anything
I
else for the teams here,
I
Colin?
know we're gonna get into your predictions, but I'm gonna give my predictions of the
Yeah, go ahead.
66.
Go for it.
Deer Creek's winning it. Deer Creek, I keep comparing them to NAU a couple years ago, the last time they won. The narrative all season was of any year, this is the year they're rebuilding, they're not supposed to win. And then they got it done. Deer Creek, heading into the season, and a lot of the season up until like the last 2-3 weeks, we've
Mm-hmm.
said, you know what, Deer Creek's rebuilding. They're trying to figure out kind of who's good. They lost a lot of heavy hitters. Now they don't necessarily have a star like they had in the last like
Yeah,
Brody
yeah.
Woodcock or even Graham Mitchell last year. Like they had some stars.
Hmm.
You know, Micah John's good, but I wouldn't even say Micah John's probably going to be in the. He could be fifth. You know, like, and that'd be a good day. But I
Hmm.
think Deer Creek's going to win it. I think Piedmont slips all the way back to fourth. I think
Ooh,
I think
wow.
they slip all the way back to fourth. I think second, so Pulpa looked very good. I think
Yeah.
Memorial looks very good. I think Piedmont's only going backwards. I think
All right.
Piedmont at best is flatlining from where they've been. So here we
All
are.
right. Move on to the individual. This wasn't a shock. I don't know about you, Colin.
No,
I
not
figured
a
this was
shock to
this was
me.
almost a given.
Mm-hmm.
1544. It's expected.
Mm-hmm.
Micah John got second, which what I found interesting about him is we interviewed him at COAC and he said that he went out way too hard, and he did. In this race, he did not go out as
No,
hard.
he actually was kind
And
of a little bit back.
he honestly probably ran better than he did there. He didn't run as fast, but like he ran better. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So heck of a time from him. Rylan Coleman, a lot of people didn't think he was going to get it done. I predicted him third. He got it done. So good job, brother man. But 15:53, that's a heck of a time for them. And if he can pull that off at state, that puts them, it helps their team for sure. Which obviously, but like having that top guy run sub 16, and then if you can get the other four close to that 16 flat, 16:30, 16:40 range, that's going to be pretty good for them. So Ethan Stort out of Deer Creek, senior, 15:59. This is an athlete who he's a senior. He's been in that program for 4 years. He's
Mm-hmm.
experienced. I wouldn't be shocked if he has a very good day at state. Hard to tell. But once again, Deer Creek has a lot of guys who can run together, and that helps,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's bad conditions. What I find is interesting too is Deer Creek's put two
George Simon's
freshmen.
not a freshman. George Simon was on their 4x8 last year.
Yeah, I saw that too,
I think he's a sophomore.
but I was just rolling with it.
Yeah,
Sophomore, freshman, regardless, he's young.
young,
This guy
probably.
too, Mason Storo, this in. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. To have two guys, 1601, 1602, 1559, 1552, and then
They had a 14
they're
second spread.
fifth, they're fifth, around 1606. They're sixth, around 1612. They're seventh, around 1625.
And they've got a
And
JV guy
yeah,
that can run like 16 flat too. So,
yeah. So, cool. Um, but yeah, they're just a very deep team, and it's hard.
Mhm.
They're hard to beat right now, I think. But good for Sepulpa. Um, anything else you see here, Colin?
That's it for me. Let's move to your predictions. Sean's going to give early access to his state meet
Can you
predictions.
see this?
I can see that.
All right.
Sean, I want you to take me through this because where do you want to start?
Let's start with 5A.
5A girls. All
5A,
right,
like I said,
individually.
I think it's going to be slower than what they've run before. I think 1810 wins it. She's run like 1755. I don't think that she's going to have to do that. I don't think that she even needs it. She could probably run like 1820 and win. But I said 1810 to win it. Emma Robinson, kind of like what we were talking about, Colin, with those
Mm-hmm.
top three at the Owasso Regional. It's looking likely. I think this gap closes by a few seconds just because it is state and but I think it's
Yeah.
Emma Robinson, Jade Burnett, Abby Lee in fourth. I do think she breaks 19.
Okay.
And I do think Avery breaks 19. I think it's fast, but I don't think it's like it's more of a 4 through 10 kind of thing.
Okay.
After those five, I mean, I just you can
Yeah,
kind of,
I don't I like that.
you
I
know,
mean, I think Adela Carter I would put a little higher.
yeah.
But I would maybe put her sixth.
Yeah, it's
You
like you
know,
can't
like I mean,
not
it's not too big, not too.
teams. I don't think
Hmm.
it's a shock.
Bishop
Bishop
Kelly,
Kelly,
Edison, Carl
Thomas
Albert.
Edison, Carl Albert, Guthrie, Southeast, Duncan, Blanchard, Bishop McGinnis, Claremore,
Yeah,
Alvis.
I think my only one that I'd change is I'd move Duncan to four.
Fair.
But
We'll
I
see.
don't hate it. I don't
Yeah.
hate it.
5A boys,
Okay.
Tesfaye Liar is going to get it done because Guyman
Whoa,
always gets it done
they
and
do get it done at
he's
state.
experienced. And I think Ethan Brooks is a heck of an athlete. He's a freshman, but Tesfaye Liar is going to get it done. He also has the fastest time in the group if we're going off a personal best.
Mhm.
15:40 is going to win it. It could be faster.
If it's dry,
It
I could
might
see
be
it being.
faster.
If it's dry, I could see it being like a 15
But with
37.
these times, I've tried to kind of factor in, well, how's the course going to look like? Because they're
Mm-hmm.
going to run after 6A. It might still be kind of cold. Who knows? Eli Horland, I spelled his name wrong. I just found that out. I'm gonna do that right now. E
Wow, the
e
failure.
For real. Eli Horland, 1542, massive PR. Just the way that he looked at the
He looks very strong.
original meet, he looked almost unstoppable, even though he's not. But Ethan Brooks, third, 1540. I think he has a great day. I think he runs a PR, but I think he gets out outrun by these two. Adam Seam, I think, is fourth for me. But I do want to say, kind of like I've been talking about, where if you have teammates to run with, all of a sudden it's not as hard to stick with that person.
Mhm.
So if Adam can get in the mix right here, could be different. I think Colin and I were also talking about how these four
I
are a
think
pretty set prediction. Like I think
so.
that
Adam, the thing is, my one change to your top four would
mm,
be, and this is a thought that I had um, when Isai Rodriguez was a redshirt freshman at OSU. He
mm,
kept finishing behind a guy named Edwin Kurgat of Iowa State.
yep,
Edwin Kurgat, if you followed that year, just would absolutely go out and dominate. But every race at Big 12s, at the regional, Isai was like a couple seconds behind. So going into nationals,
mm-hmm,
nobody put Isai better than like 15th in all the rankings. Someone randomly put him 15th. A lot of people didn't even have him in the rankings. He finished fourth because he kept,
yep,
again, every race, no matter the course, no matter the conditions, kept finishing just a couple seconds behind a guy. So
yep.
this is my point. Adam is always a couple seconds behind Tesfaye.
That's very
So if you
fair.
put Tesfaye one, I think Adam is second. Well, he
Okay,
could be third. I think
okay.
his time is only going to be less than 5 seconds behind Tesfaye, if not right on Tesfaye, or maybe even better than Tesfaye on the day. I don't know. But
That's very fair.
I think I wouldn't put him 19 seconds behind Tesfaye. If I'm going to put him anywhere, he's going to be within 2 seconds. Now, you may also say, well, I think Eli Horled's going to win. Or maybe
Mm,
you keep Eli Horled there, you move Adam Siam to 1543, that puts him third. That's my thing. I
yeah,
think it's a similar situation to Isai that year. Is he always is there? He's always there, every course, every condition, all year round.
potentially.
I think if you're gonna put Tesfaye there, you gotta put Adam right behind him.
All righty.
That's my argument
Well,
there. Other than that, I am completely okay with your rankings.
moving on to
Actually,
fifth.
I love it because Isaiah Blevins is sixth. I'm gonna
Moving
keep that
on to
going. I hope he
fifth,
runs well.
Charlie out of Bishop Kelly. This is an interesting one for me though, because he far and away has the fastest time in this field. It
He
was at
hasn't looked
Rogers,
as good
but he hasn't looked nearly as good.
since that
But
time.
he has run 15:32. He's a senior. I put him at fifth because he hasn't been doing nearly as good, but he's an athlete that if he got first, it wouldn't be like, no way, right? Isaiah Blevins, 16:10. No real reason. I just thought it was kind of hilarious when he
Then move
came
him
up to our
down.
tent and
Get
was
rid of
like,
him. Put him out
"You
of the top
know,
10.
right?" But eh, hey, prove me wrong again.
Prove us
Please
wrong,
do.
please.
Please
We
do.
are actually
I
rooting for you.
enjoy being proven wrong, and I root for everybody in the state.
Yeah.
It just kind of makes it
We
interesting.
got it. We got to pick people, and somebody can't, not everybody can finish first.
Exactly. I hope everybody has a personal best. Jacob Tiger, 1612. He looked all right at regionals. Um, these times honestly might be a little slow because a lot of these athletes have gone sub 16. Once again, I think conditions aren't going to be great, but I could see this being faster.
Mhm.
Um, Rowan Meyer, 1615. I almost put him like fourth,
Yeah, I mean, we know
but
how good Rowan Myers is when he's healthy
regionals was
100%
his
and
first
100% fit.
race.
Yeah, he's been injured. We don't know with what. We don't
Mm.
know how bad. We don't know how much he's been able to train up to now. But we have seen one result out of him, and he's
Yeah.
good, but he's just not 100% of what Rowan
And
Myers
then
we know
but
he can be.
honestly, after this top seven, you could have put like these three or who I chose. You could put a handful of other athletes in there though. Teams, not shock.
Nope.
They're gonna get it done. Bishop Kelly, I put Klassen second, Tahlequah third, Guyman fourth. Even though Guyman always shows up, they just really don't have a 3, 4, 5. That's
I
gonna.
agree. I agree with your team.
It's
Honestly,
not
that's how
like
I rank the
past
teams.
years where like Guyman and Piedmont, and like Guyman was underlooked because they wouldn't go to the races and they were out in the Panhandle, and they had a complete team, but they don't have a complete team
They
this year. They
don't.
have two great athletes and then three others who are good, but not to the level of these
They're
three.
not going to win a state title with their other
Santa Fe
three.
South, Bishop McGinnis, Blanchard, Pryor, Guthrie, Coweta.
Cool. Like it. I'm good. Moving on.
6A girls, Bella Nelson, 17-15.
All right.
I think it's gonna be fast.
I
Even
don't
if
hate it.
now if it's like pouring rain, I mean obviously, but I didn't want to make my time rankings on pouring rain. So I think if it's even if it's a little muddy, they're the first one in the morning, the first race. It'll be like 55, 60 degrees if it holds up with the
Perfect.
weather. I think it's going to be fast from the gun. And I think 17-15 is possible. She ran 17-26. I think that's very doable. Natalie is a 17-30. I don't see her winning. She might. She's the best chance outside of Nelson. Charlie Keeley third because why not?
Hmm.
Uh, Ava Cornelius 1758, Emma Johnson 1759, my sister 1807 because good job Presley, Claire Collins, Brooke Collins, Sienna Collins, and then Kate Barber.
I like the individual rankings.
Honestly though, like
I like them.
it's tough because there's a handful of athletes like 11, 12, 13, 14 that could also it's just tough. You kind of have
Hmm.
to just pick outside of those top two. These could I honestly see this kind of going anyway. I mean, because you've got,
No,
I mean, like Emma Johnson's ran 18 flat. She's a
I
senior.
think
She
you
could
got
easily get
it
third.
right.
It's just, but these two, I think these are pretty consistent, these front two. I don't see them placing anywhere under two, but
Hmm.
3 through 10, I really think could go more or less either way. I could even see like Claire Collins getting third because she's just been good every single meet. And Brooke Collins, it's just,
Yeah.
and it's almost a given that they're going to be right by each other too. I put my sister sixth because she's my sister. Um, and I mean, honestly, she's like in this mix too. So,
I I
it's not
actually
crazy.
100% agree with your rankings. I wouldn't change a thing. Even the times. I even kind of I
Yeah.
agree very well with the times. I think you have them sectioned out how I think they should be sectioned. I think
Yeah.
there's Bella, a little bit of a gap, Natalie, a little bit of a gap, Charlie, Ava, Emma. I like that they're gonna all be close. I agree.
Hmm.
I think then it's like Presley, 8 seconds behind with another pack of Claire, Brooke, Sienna,
Because
Kate.
the way
I
that I
agree.
view it too is that like I don't want to because it's tough when a meet like Rogers happens because it's great for the sport. But you get a lot of athletes who run the fastest, they'll run that entire year at Rogers. So it'll just be interesting because a lot of these athletes kind of faced off at Rogers. You got Kate Barber in 1807. She hasn't touched that since. You have Brooke Collins and Claire Collins. I know Claire ran like 17 flat at that 30 mile, so I mean, pretty dang good. But like, they haven't even touched what they ran at Rogers. My
Yeah.
sister has gotten close, but like, you know, and then I mean, Charlie has many times. Ava has many times. So it's just we'll see. It can go either way. But teams, Piedmont, Edmond North, Owasso. I might honestly flip this. I think Owasso might get second, Deer Creek fourth, Jinx fifth, Edmond sixth, Memorial that, and then more Edmond Santa Fe, Norman, and Bixby. Thoughts on that?
Again, I think I 100. Only thing I'd change Owasso to 2.
I think I'm gonna put them too. This
I
isn't like a
think this isn't
finalized
set in
ranking,
stone,
but it's pretty close.
but early preview, I think I
I'm
agree
gonna do
with
it now, actually,
everything.
after
I
looking at the
I think
regionals more in depth.
Owasso, and then I think Edmond, and then I think, but I do think Edmond North, Deer Creek, Jinx are fairly interchangeable.
Hmm.
Again, it's the same thing as on the individuals. I think
Yeah.
Piedmont's a little bit better than Owasso, and enough that I'm confident that they're going to be 1, and the second is going to be 2. And then I think you have another section. You have
All
Edmond
right.
North, you have Deer Creek, you have Jinx, so on and so forth. Move to the boys. Let's
Now
go.
moving on to what I think is the most controversial thing that I've
I
probably put
like
out.
that you put it last, and I was hoping you did this, which
Mesbar with
phenomenal.
15-16.
Like it.
It could be faster.
Okay.
I just I don't think it's going to
No,
be.
I
Like
I I
I've
agree.
had so many people in the comments and our responses be like 1450, and I hope and pray that happens. I want to
I don't
see
think it'll be
it is
that
so
fast of a.
great for our state if someone runs sub 15, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
15-16
Go
seems
on,
fair.
because this now
Brody
you get to the
Masson second.
controversial.
Brody
Say it.
Masson second
Okay.
because he has the speed. He has the kick. He's going to take it out really hard.
He
But
does like to do that.
I do think he's going to take it out hard with a handful of other athletes. And I think he, in this group, has the best chance to hold on to Mez in this situation.
Okay. Go on.
Noah Thayer third, getting
Okay.
outleaned by Brody Masson in 15-23.
All
He's
right.
been trending upwards this entire season. He has the experience. I think outside of, I mean, to me, he got second as last year in cross on a fast day. He beat Brody Woodcock, who was arguably the greatest,
He beat
one
Mez.
one of the greatest in the history of our state. He beat him.
He beat everybody else on this list who was there
And
last year.
in track, even though it was hit or miss, he finished like fourth or fifth, maybe third in that 800 as a 153, and he ran 413. So not only can he hold up and cross, he has the foot speed.
I
People are gonna
like
hate me
it.
for that, but
Oh
you know,
yeah. Keep
Maxton
going because this
Barker
is even more
fourth.
controversial, honestly.
Maxton Barker fourth because the last three meets he has ran so well. He got fourth at Coac. He was behind Thayer by like I think 6 seconds, 7 seconds. And then at regionals, he was behind Thayer by like a centimeter. So he's
Keep
trending
getting
upwards.
closer.
I think they're going to be close to each other. Dominic Matthias, 15-34.
Go on.
I
Go on.
honestly think that he could easily get second. But my reasoning is that Mez has beat him by 20 seconds every single time that he's faced off against him. And I can just see he's a freshman. If it's bad conditions, especially because I had somebody too tell me that if it's crappy, he's gonna win. And I was like, if it's crappy, it's gonna be the same result because that means it's tactical. And if it's tactical, I'm not gonna bet on a freshman if it's tactical. I think he's gonna be fifth. He could be second, third, fourth, fifth. I don't really care where he places. I hope he does great. That's just what I think. I want to make things interesting. I could be super boring and say Mez Barth, Dominic Matthias, Brody Masson, Noah Thayer. That's boring. So we're not gonna do that. Dominic Mathias fifth, 1534. I think he has a tough day. Micah John, 1538. He's been trending upwards. I mean, I think he's their top guy. He's gonna have a good day. Deer Creek always shows up at state. Always. Even if they don't win, they still have a good day usually. Cameron Langdon, 1539. He has the endurance. I think he's right there.
10K guy.
Um, Madden Rutherford, the brother of Zachary Rutherford, I'm assuming. I don't know that for sure, but I mean, I guess 1542. He's had a great year. He's their one. I've been there two once or twice, but I think he's kind of broken out as their one. Rylan Coleman from Zapulpa, 1547. George Simon, the sophomore from Deer Creek, 1550.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, outside of one, outside of first place, I think you could take any of these athletes. Well,
I think it's
okay. I think you could take Brody Masson, Noah Thayer, Matthias, probably Barker, maybe Langdon, and I wouldn't be shocked if any of
I
them
think you
gets.
could take 2 through 7 and change them around, and I wouldn't
And
complain.
then I think you could take 8 through like 15 and change them around too. Because I mean, when I looked at this and I was doing these predictions, there were like 5 or 6 athletes that I almost put in the 10 spot. It's just tough. There's so many people that are right there. Um, but yeah, this is pretty much set in stone. This right here, yeah. All right, team wise, Deer Creek, they're going to dominate personally, but Piedmont second. Piedmont's gonna do good, but I could also see kind of what you were saying was they might fall or they might win, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Edmond third, Mustang fourth, Sapulpa fifth, Edmond Santa Fe sixth, Edmond North seventh, Broken Arrow eighth, Jinx ninth, Yukon 10.
I think it's fair. I think it's very fair.
Yeah.
I don't have anything wrong with it. I do agree with you that there's some interchangeability in that top 10.
Yeah.
Again, sectioning it out like a lot of the other divisions with a couple teams that could bounce one or two, a couple teams that could bounce one or two. I don't think anybody moves
Hmm.
more than 2 spots from where they're at.
Yep.
I don't see Sapulpa winning it, but they could be third.
Yeah. And that's kind
So
of the same here. I mean, you've got like Edmond, well, these two Edmond schools,
yeah.
both of them, they've been right by each other every single meet that they've
Mm-hmm.
competed against. They could be third and fourth,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I agree.
controversial.
All
Controversial.
right. So that is regional recap.
Yep.
It's state preview, which I previewed kind of as I went through some. Um, I will have an article coming out. Shawn gives you a preview of his, which he'll publish at some point,
Yep.
early
Probably
access,
on Thursday is
which
when that will be
means,
on the post.
which means we're left with one thing and one thing only. Shawn, we don't have many more of these to go in
I'm
cross
not
country
gonna use
season.
mine. I'm gonna use
This
this
is
as a
this is
book.
a good time.
Meditations.
This is a good time. There
Marcus
people are going
Aurelius.
into state. This is state meet advice. Maybe there's a kid out there that loves
Mhm.
Shawn Rutledge advice and he lives by it.
I
And
hope
this
to
is going to
God
be the
not.
biggest race of his life coming up. Shawn, you have to drop some wisdom here. You need to tell something that's going to inspire nations to just rise up
What?
and dominate. There's going to be a team you rank seventh that's going to win it because of what they heard here today. Shawn, what's your advice for the day?
So many who were remembered are already forgotten, and those who remembered them are long gone.
Any elaboration?
Well,
No, I don't think you need to. Just leave
no,
it.
no.
Leave it. Leave it on the wisdom. Let them interpret it as they will.
I'm gonna let them ponder, but
Let them
I'm basically
ponder.
saying
Well,
that
not.
your
Go ahead.
performance is not everything, and I hope that everybody has an amazing race, but and it can feel like when if you do bad that everybody cares and that you didn't, and that's like everything. It's not that this sport is not your whole life. And there is a lot more to life than running. Your times are going to be forgotten, and your placements are going to be forgotten. So don't be too stressed out about it.
All right. And on that bombshell, it is time to end. Thank you all for watching if you made it this far. If you didn't, I don't blame you. So goodbye.